All right, troops, good day. Welcome back. The Anvil Power Hour. We're on episode 7 right now, I think. So we're a third of the way to the magic number of 21, which is most podcasts don't hit 21 episodes. So we're a third of the way there. So nearly living on a prayer. So how are we doing today, Chris?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm
Cool,
good. How are
cool.
you?
Not too bad.
Good.
It's not our usual recording day again, so I've spent most of the week up at the partners because it was our youngest boy's birthday
Oh, nice.
today. The day we're recording, not the day it goes out. So yeah, that was quite nice, but back down the road now to face reality. So all fun
Back
and
to it.
games.
Back
Yeah,
to
so how's the week been? What have you been up to?
it. Work, and more work. It is a mental time just now, but it's good. I'm enjoying it. Getting a lot
Yeah,
more projects thrown my way, which is keeping me busy, keeping the mind occupied.
yeah.
So
Uh-huh.
it's not like everyday boring, mundane IT stuff, help desk tickets and that.
Yeah,
Like I say, getting a bit more project stuff to get my teeth stuck into, which is nice.
yeah.
Um, Gym's been going well this week. Body weight's down again.
Good, good.
Um, Might
Weight loss.
have went slightly feral in training last night
Okay.
and decided to do flat bench instead of incline bench
Oh,
because it was busy and I couldn't get an incline bench set
that's
up.
fair. That's fair. Like in situations like that, you've just got to fucking do what you need to do because it's not worth the hassle of waiting around if you can just get somebody else I would slot in as a quick fix and then get it done.
Yeah, I sent 140 for a single. Don't shout at me, don't shout at me.
Right, so where are we? So we're 91.5 as of this morning. Well,
Yes.
no, actually, that was
Yeah,
Wednesday.
was that
That
Wednesday?
was,
Yes, that's
yeah,
95.2 this morning. Sorry,
95.
91.2 this morning.
Two.
Sorry.
Cool. So yeah, we're about to hit that last into that last kilo and last
Yes.
thousand and last 7,700 calories to go for anyone who's remotely interested in how many calories is in a kilogram of fat. And when it comes to deficits, that's what you're working towards. You want to work out how many calories you need to burn a week and then just work backwards. So if you've got half a kilo you want to lose a week, we'll lose about 3,850 calories. From there, just work backwards. Deduct it from your food, deduct it from your cardio, deduct it from your steps, and jobs are good. Just when you do this and you are working this one out, make sure that you do not include the steps you're already doing because you've probably already included those into the equation of your calories burned to find your general energy levels. So it's whatever steps you have to add on top of what you already do to burn those extra calories. So just remember that one, troops who are listening to that, because that's a key one that people are like, well, I already do 10,000 steps, so just keep it that. Yeah, but if you've already included that into the energy balance equations,
hmm
then you've pretty much wiped out those 10,000 steps and you need to push extra calories in to see the weight loss. So little things to be considered, troops, when you are planning your weight loss phases. Again, if you want more detail on this, we have the episode which is Revenge. I think it's Revenge of the Dieters. Well, can't remember. One of the episodes has a good chunk about
Yeah.
weight loss at the end of it, and it's like it's definitely in the title. If it's not in the title, it's in the bio. But I think it's if it's not episode 6, whatever episode 6 was is the one that you're looking for when it comes to sort of like a big block and weight loss stuff. But after multiple people asking, what I'm going to be doing is I will be breaking these down into their component parts. So the coaching and strongman segments will be going out as separate videos, but they'll be going. So this episode will air on the Sunday, and then the strongman section will probably air on the Tuesday, and then the coaching section will air on the Thursday. And then basically, that way, if you're interested in a single piece or you want quick reference to stuff, then you can jump into those sections and get what you need to know because they
Yep.
all have specific names and bio bio descriptions. But when it comes to the coaching stuff, As for value, I think I give out more information about coaching on this podcast for free that you can go away, use, and actually get results out of than you'll fucking get from anyone else. So use it. Okay, right. So with that being said, let's get on to our first topic today, which will be the recap of the strongman from our most recent weekend. So the Scotland's strongest man and Scotland's strongest woman categories. Let's get
Yes.
into that in a few seconds. All right, troops, we're back. Let's talk through the strongman and strongwoman from the weekend. And this section is going to be primarily ran by Chris
Yes.
because he was the one at it. I unfortunately had to do this thing called coaching, which ironically enough, I do a lot of, and a lot of it falls on the weekend because do you know why? It's when most of you people are off, so it's the easiest time to get in contact with you all. So, Chris,
Yep.
how did it go? How did it go?
I thought it was a good weekend. I thought the events choice was good for the categories. Um, the only thing I thought was disappointing was the turnout number for each category. Very, very down on previous years, especially
Yeah,
in the women's side of things, which was
well,
a shame to see.
yeah, especially on the men's side as well, because
Yeah,
like last year, the men's were nearly chock a block across every single weight category, whereas
yeah, I think the biggest category this year was under 105s with 14 or
yeah,
16 in there.
which is odd because I think last year's under 90s were nearly 20 plus, if
Yes.
I remember correctly. Like the under 90s last year was absolutely mental,
Yep.
and some of the best lifters we saw in that category. But we'll get into our thoughts and theories on it afterwards. So, first things first, let's talk through the event itself. So, we have the winners up in front of us at the minute. So, we're going to go and work through all the ladies' categories and then all the gents, and then we'll talk about any sort of anything else like thoughts, theories, queries, and
Yep.
our wee thoughts on what potentially could go wrong, what's going wrong with the numbers, and how it could potentially fix in the future if people wish to listen to find out. So let's start with the
64s.
under 64. So how did you feel that ran?
It was good, yeah. All three of the ladies were very competitive. There's a swap there from first and second last year. I believe Demi won last year and Elizabeth was second, so
Yeah.
we've had a bit of a flip there.
Well,
Yeah.
Elizabeth is the last from the Natties as well, isn't she? Is she?
No, no, no.
No.
Elizabeth's Nicola Buchan's friend and
All
training
right,
partner from
yes.
up north.
Okay,
Yes.
right. Yeah, so Elizabeth came first, and then Demi came second,
And
and
Emmy third. I think
yeah,
Emmy's relatively new to the sport. Not a name that I recognise, but very impressive. A lot of room
mhm,
for growth from her. Definitely.
yeah. So how did you feel that cat like? Were there anything that stood out to you in that category? Like,
Um, if it was, I think it was Demi's deadlift. She came out and set the benchmark for the deadlift.
yeah,
She was really, really good. I mean, our partner coach is Graham Hicks, after all, who's a
yeah,
great deadlifter. So you would expect that. But yeah,
uh-huh.
Demi's deadlift really stuck out to me there. But again, three girls in the category, you would have liked to have seen maybe double that to make it a little bit more competitive.
Yeah, like especially when the Natties had what 12 to 15, I think, was it?
At least,
Yeah,
yeah.
in the same category, and it'd be really interesting to see some of those lasses come across. But again, we'll talk about later on. So
Yep,
that was our first one. Our next women had a one woman show.
yep. And your
Was
friend Diane.
yeah, yeah, it was my friend and your friend as well,
Yes,
Diane.
I
She
know.
done well. I don't want to blow smoke up Diane's arse because I know she'll probably not be. She'll have given 100%, and she'll always give 100. She never phones in a competition, so whenever she does stuff, she gives 100%.
I said this to you when we briefly discussed
Uh-huh.
this. She could have
Uh-huh.
went out and done a single rep, a single meter, one throw bag,
Uh-huh.
whatever, and still walked home as Scottish champion under 73.
Yeah.
Diane absolutely pushed herself until breaking point. I mean, I think it was in deadlift she actually like passed out at the end of them,
I
and
mean,
we ran across and
that's like a yearly
oh,
thing
it
for
is.
Diana.
Oh, of
Every
course it
competition,
is. Of
deadlift
course it
passes
is.
out. But
Aye.
but yeah, and again, that's it. Like she doesn't phone in a show. She goes in and works the numbers and gives 100%.
And you can
And
see a change in her lifting as well. I mean, she's coached by Matt McKeegan now. Matt
now,
was there
yeah,
as
which
well,
I
and Matt
think
and
has made a huge improvement to her performance.
her overhead looked solid. I mean, the reps
Yeah.
she was hitting were so
Mhm.
quick and so clean. Because we had her in our lane for reffing her,
Yeah.
I remember that, and
Uh,
she looked solid all day.
Well, for I know she is thinking about maybe trying to go for the Scottish log record,
Under 73 or the overall.
potentially both,
Right, okay.
because which she already holds the bench record in Scotland
Yeah.
over 100 kilos. I think she definitely could get the under 73s, no doubt about that.
hmm
I think actually in training she may have already broke the under 73 record.
I think you're right. I think you could be right.
Um, yeah, but I think she might get the taste for the overall
Which is
record and go for it.
101 kilos, maybe?
Yeah, I think
100,
so.
101, I think.
Around about that, set by uh, Laura Baxter, is
Laura
it?
Baxter in untested, and
Uh,
Rosalind Cole has it in natural strongman, I
yeah,
believe. And it's
yeah.
both the
So
same weight, it's both 100 kilos.
yeah, so she'll be. I wouldn't be surprised if she goes on the hunt for that.
Yeah.
But there's really not much to add about that, but other than the fact that she put in a good show, which and it's a shame because over the last couple of years, the under 73s was probably the most popular of all the weight categories in Scotland's Strongest Women.
It was a new category a couple of years ago, maybe what, 3 years
Yes.
ago, because it
Uh-huh.
bridged that gap between 64s and 82s. That's a big
Yeah.
gap. That's a
Yeah.
massive, massive
Because
gap.
Diane had to die down to the under 64s for her first competition.
Yeah.
And then, but yeah, the introduction of the under 73s, I think, is a fantastic competition because it's a good
Yeah.
middle ground. It's also, I think, a category where a lot of women can find a very sustainable body weight
Yep.
to hold the meet.
hmm
Whereas sometimes, if they are sitting around the high 70s, dieting all the way down to the under 64s
hmm
is really tough. And then potentially eating up into the under 82s
hmm
can be just as painful for them as well because they might not feel comfortable with the extra size and mass they have to put on
Yeah.
for that. Now, one person who definitely didn't suffer with um, any struggles with putting on with the extra mass that she put on is the current winner of the under 82s,
Heather Holden.
Heather, who, for all intents and purposes, I hear absolutely fucking smashed the competition.
Heather was great. Oh,
Yeah.
like she was really, really good. I remember her deadlift. She came out and set the benchmark at nine reps at
Yeah.
190, I believe. Yeah, she was great, and it was nice to see her not zeroing an overhead event as well. Finally,
Yeah, that's a
overhead's looking
huge
nice.
step forward for Heather, who's always
hmm
been a bit a bit of self-doubt about overhead.
Yes.
Like she's always had the potential there, but I think sometimes believing in that
hmm
has been difficult for her. But this year, I believe that's changed quite dramatically, and
Yep.
we've seen a much more impressive overhead display come out of her and stuff like that.
No, definitely.
So
I think she was only one to finish the all the throw bags as well at all the
yeah,
women.
yeah, which she's a really good athlete. It'll be really interesting to see how she handles the under 82s
Yeah,
moving
definitely.
forward because it's different. So, second place was Shauna Moore, and
Yep.
third place was
Christy
Christy
Herbert.
Herbert. Yeah. So, what did you think of these two?
So Shauna was the defending champion of the 82s going into today. Sorry, going into last Saturday. And Heather just kept setting these benchmarks for Shauna to chase. Shauna's a
Yeah.
great athlete, really, really good athlete. She's been on the scene a long time. Her brother's Danny Moore, who's the under 105.
Yes.
Yeah, from Shetland, just proper raw strength. They're great. I believe this is Christie's first or second year in the sport as well. again, she was good, coached by Matt McKeegan as well. I think
Uh-huh.
Matt actually coached half the athletes that were competing at the weekend.
Wouldn't surprise me.
So yeah, but nah, Christy was good. She was solid all day as well. It was just that was a really nice category, that the under
Yeah.
82s.
Mhm.
Really, really nice
Was it just
category.
the three of them, or was
It
there?
was
I
just the
think there
three of
was.
them.
Was it just three?
Was there three or was there four?
I
I think
thought
there
there
was
was
only,
maybe four or five, but I can't remember.
I can't, nah, it wasn't a big category. There was
Uh-huh.
dropouts in that one as well. I think there was only three of them in that as well.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the things we'll talk about later on is the high dropout rate amongst women's competitions because
Hmm.
that's something that needs to be talked about, I think. But yeah, yeah. So we have that there, and then so we move on to the gents next. So the
Yes.
ladies' open category was not ran at this competition, so that's
No,
been
that has
held
its own
for
separate day. That's
as
like
its
the
own
men's
separate
open,
day.
so
Yeah.
that's got its own
Mhm.
separate day.
Yeah. But that'll be interesting as well because the good one with that one is that gets an open invitation to everyone.
Hmm.
And I do like how that kind of runs as its own separate day because one, I think it deserves it.
Yeah,
Like it definitely deserves to have its own separate day, but you tend to see a lot of the ladies from different categories making the jump up into it as well, which is really nice to see. It's not
yeah,
just the open ladies. We see under 82s, we see under 73s all stepping up to the mark and giving a shot as well, which I think is really good because it can show that even in the open categories, these weighted athletes can play just as hard
yeah.
as everyone else. So let's move on to the gents. So we start with the under 70s,
New
which is
category this year.
yes, yeah, brand new category this year.
Brand new
Mhm.
category this year. Yep.
Yeah, so this will be interesting to see how this one grows because it's a very lightweight for guys and stuff like that.
It
So
is so it's under 70 at official Scotland, and in
yeah,
natural strongman it's under 72. So there's a
okay, cool.
2 kilo difference. But this has been a category that's been ran for a while, the under 70s. It's Ash Lappage that runs it down south
Uh-huh.
normally. And I think, I don't know what the qualification criteria is for it, but he seems to run a Britain's strongest under 70
Okay.
every year, which Cameron Nisbet from Shetland normally competes in.
Yeah.
So it was nice to see this actually moving into the weight classes this time.
Yeah, it deserves a
Albeit,
space.
albeit there was only two guys turned up, Stephen McDonald and Rory Mackay.
Mhm.
Had a chat with Rory before it actually. He's a lovely guy. He done the under 72 natural strongman
Yeah.
category. And his goal for the day was to do better than what he done at natural strongman. And I would say totally achieved that.
Yeah, and I think that's a fantastic goal to have and stuff like that. Like, being a
Definitely.
new category, we're going to see maybe a lack of numbers in it, but
Yeah.
hopefully that should grow like in a couple of years. And it's also a category that isn't particularly commonly well known with strongman,
Nah.
aka the weight. Like,
Yes.
it's lightweight
It's
guys,
super, super
super
light, under
lightweight.
70
That's,
kilos.
yeah. But we're talking about body weight here. We're not talking about the weights that they were lifting. We're actually physically
No.
talking about body weight here. Definitely like one of the most popular categories that have been introduced recently is the under 120s,
Hmm.
which I could see massively picking up the ball in a way. But and the good thing about that is I believe that the introduction of under 120 should now push the open category weights up higher
Yep.
because we have that category as a middle ground point to slot into. But no, yeah, so that was good. We'll move on to the next ones because the gents are next. Let's see,
Under
under
80.
80s next. So first place we had Ian Armstrong. Second place we had Craig
Mulhern, and third place
Mulhern
Jamie
for
Harper.
Harper. Yeah, which is good to see. So
Yeah, Jamie's a good lad.
yeah,
Ian's also a local boy as well. I'm sure he's a Burns Gym, Dumfries
uh,
guy as well. So yeah, local
that's
boy
good.
one in there.
Yeah, and what do you know much about Craig?
Craig's, that's the first time I've seen Craig.
Oh, so
I think he was maybe coming back from a back or shoulder injury. Um, And yeah, I'm sure he only done a rep or two on the deadlift or one of the events. It
yeah,
was either Ian or Craig. Honestly, I cannot remember because obviously
so
reffing
much.
one
Yeah,
lane at a time,
yeah,
and you're trying to keep an eye on what's going on.
yeah,
Um, but yeah, if I remember right with that category though, on the Atlas stones, that the guys were only getting to the second or third stone, so it was going to be who was doing it in the quickest time.
yes,
And I'm sure that they positions jostled about.
yeah. They jumped about. Yeah.
I'm sure there was a lot of swap in there with the positions. when it came down to the last event.
That's cool. Like, so
But it was a
was it
small
just a,
category again
was
this
it
year. No, I
again
think
just
no,
three?
there was four or five in that category.
Okay,
It was
right,
a
cool.
very
So
small
four or five.
category as
Uh-huh.
well. I mean, there was a lot of names missing from that. Dean McVie, Chris Harper, who we'll touch on in a
Yeah.
couple of categories time.
Chris Harper
Finn,
with other places.
yeah, Finlay Mercer as well from Shetland.
Uh-huh.
Normally you see him in under 80s, but it was quite a wee category this time. But very competitive. I know we've said that there's been people missing from categories, but it was still competitive, even though there was
Yeah.
only five of them in the category. It
Yeah,
was
like
good.
no one ran away with it. Like
No,
it
not at
was
all.
still a tight points bundle pack at
Yeah,
the end, which is good to see.
exactly.
Like so under 90s next. Uh Ian
Ian
Estabrook.
Easterbrook, yep. Neil
Easterbrook.
Anderson and
Yeah.
James Peters was the top
Uh-huh.
three. Ian
Yeah.
Easterbrook, unifying the Scottish titles there. He is the natural strongman under 90 champion and now official
Awesome. I knew
Scotland's.
that we were going to see this coming up sooner or later. This was going to be something that I expect to see across actually multiple categories if athletes start to
Hmm.
cross compete. I can see this
Yep,
happening more and more and more because there are so many good natty lifters I think that would really do well in stepping across into these categories and exposing themselves to a different kind of competition and
yep.
stuff like that, which I think we will see, I think, in the future. I think we will see in the future. We'll talk about why we didn't see this year, but I think we have a good reason for that this
Hmm.
year.
Ian was
But
great all day.
yeah,
Yeah, he's so strong, and the way he's developed in the last 2 years, especially, has been great.
uh,
Like I, I remember seeing him at UK's and Worlds last year, and he's just got better and better from there. He's went away, done the hard work, and came back strong.
yeah, exactly. And that's the thing. Like we got to take hats off to like, people like him and like people like either Craig or Ian from the last category who have came back from injuries and stuff like that to
Hmm.
come back from injuries and step up onto national
Yep,
platforms and for guys like for guys like Ian in this category who've gone away and done the hard work and came back fitter, stronger, faster and been able to actually put put their numbers off. You can't help but respect for these people who put so much hard work into this sort of stuff and don't dial it in. They actually go
yeah,
and work fucking hard and it's
I
it's
know.
really nice to see.
Aye.
So
Neil Anderson in second place. He's a former champion in the under
yeah.
90 category, and he was a
Mhm.
great athlete, really, really good.
Yeah.
Now you got James Peters in third, phenomenal stone lifter. He was really annoyed with himself. I'm sure he done up to 170 and failed the 180, and he was
Yeah.
really, really annoyed with himself.
I know but that happens. Like I think especially when it comes to competitions, we have that urge at the end where we want to give it all and it just
Yeah.
doesn't go quite to plan and stuff. So but yeah, so this might be the category that you're looking at next year if we go back to strongman for
Yes.
keeping where your body
Yeah.
weight is right now and
Exactly. I
stuff like
know.
that.
I
So
know. So it was good
we'll
to
have
keep an
to
eye on that. I know.
yeah, so we'll keep an eye, we'll remember the names and we'll run them over in our cars at some point between now and next year's competition to make sure that they're no longer a threat.
Yeah. And we'll move on to my former category. And
Yes.
it's no disrespect to any category, but because this is my former category, this is the one I pay attention to the most.
Yeah, definitely.
Because I've
Because
competed against these guys loads of times. I know them really well. So this is the
mhm,
one I've probably kept an eye on the
yes.
most.
So our first place is Gavin Bruce in the under 105s.
So Gav is now a four-time under 105 Scottish champion, and that
Uh,
is his third win in a row
yes,
as well.
and he's also competing at. Did he compete last year at the Opens as well?
Yes, he did. Made the
Yes, he
final
did.
as well. Yep.
Yeah. So like he's absolutely smashing it right now. It's good. Great. Graham Lambert in second place.
Sorry, Graham Lamont.
Lamont, sorry.
Graham
Yeah.
Lamont.
Yeah,
Graham's
sorry.
also a former 105 champion. He won it the first year I done the
Yeah.
105s, Graham.
Like but
Um,
my bad pronunciation of names due to the fact that my glasses are all foggy and I can't actually fucking read the screen that well. Otherwise I'm gonna be like this, which is not exactly what you need to be seeing when I'm trying to
nah,
read stuff. And then some wee guy turned up in the
in the
in the under
105s.
105s, yeah. And that wee guy just happens to be the guy that's been absolutely dominating every other category that's lighter and stuff like that, which is Chris Harper.
think he's following the footsteps of his coach Callum Crozier.
Mhm. Which is doing every single category until he gets into the Opens.
Aye, pretty much. I mean, Chris done the
He's
Opens
also getting ready for the
qualifier last
Opens.
year.
Yes, he
Chris,
did. He's
I'm sure Chris qualified last year and had to pull out through injury.
I think so, because was that maybe when his bicep went? Because I know his
Yes,
bicep went, it went, and then he continued to train because
yeah,
he thought it was a minor, and then I think it went properly
yeah. It was
to
a
the
bit
point
more
where he
major.
needed, yeah,
Yeah,
where he needed to get surgery on
yeah.
it. So, yeah, Chris, I take my hat off to because Chris has climbed like he has absolutely dominated a category after category and category, and him, Callum Crozier, and Dean McVie all fall into this sort of bracket, in my opinion, of guys that rather than rest on their laurels in their one category, they push on.
hmm
They climb up to the next category, they work into the next category, they do well in that, and then they climb on and stuff like that. I have a lot of respect for the guys like that who actually I think it's just dead impressive to see people like that who can go right. They don't rest on the lowers. Once they've climbed the ranks in one category, like no, we're going up to the heavier and we're working hard to try and make that heavier one go ahead and stuff like that. So it's really
hmm
nice to see.
And I totally agree with you. And Danny Moore finished in fourth place in that category, right? And a fun fact about Danny, Danny has never been beaten at an overhead event in weight class strongman.
Was he beaten this year,
Was
or is that
not,
still standing? Oh, it's
still stands. Managed to
still
squeeze out
standing.
an
Yeah.
extra rep in time.
Does he have? I'm sure he holds a record in the under 105s overhead,
He
doesn't he?
was the Scottish log press record holder,
Ah,
which Jazz Hasty took. If anybody
yes,
remembers Jazz, he was a
uh-huh.
105. He used to bounce between the opens as well.
Yeah,
I'm sure he broke it. I don't know if Jazz still holds it just now. I think it was 165 he got,
yeah.
167.
Mm.
I don't know if anybody's broken it since then. But yeah, Danny was the former 105 log holder.
Yeah, yeah. He's also a comp winner as well, if I remember correctly, isn't he?
Yeah, aye.
Yeah. So
And also another guy that bounces between the 105s and opens and is
yeah.
qualified for the
Mhm.
opens before.
Yeah. Is he up from Shetlands as well?
Yes,
Yes,
Shetland,
he
aye.
is.
Yeah,
Right,
aye.
yeah. Yeah, no, so I am remembering the right person in my head, which is good. So, but no, like it's really impressive to see these categories are stacked with like you're talking about multiple record holders sitting in the top three,
No, of
which is
course.
nice to see. It's not like it's nice to see these people bounce between, and then you see like Chris Harper just coming out of nowhere and wedging himself in third place, which is
Who
also really awesome
also
to see.
competed the week before in the 120s and podiumed
Yeah,
there as well.
yeah, like yeah, pretty much he will. His only shortfall, and speaking as a fellow shorty, is probably his height. If he was 6 inches taller, holy fucking shit.
Aye, he'd be a monster. Monster of a strong man. Absolute freak.
Yeah, yeah.
I
So,
mean,
but
Chris still holds records as well, I'm sure, in the under 80
yeah, like
category for
uh,
dumbbell. I think I'm
dumbbell.
sure it's dumbbell, maybe log as well.
Yeah, I think it's dumbbell and log. I can't
Yeah.
be sure on it, but I definitely remember the dumbbell because I watched the dumbbell and it was impressive. Um, I also think there's a bit of controversy about the dumbbell, if I remember correctly, from the guy who held it in America, who basically cried like a little bitch because he lost his record and was like,
Yes, I think you're right.
"It's not a good rep." Who the fuck cares? I was giving tough shit. Fucking
Aye, it's a
take
good
the
rep.
L, get better, get
Yep.
stronger, beat it, which he's not been able to do. So I'm 90% sure that Chris still holds that dumbbell record as well. So it's still in his name. So
Yeah,
he done better than that lad in America. So
exactly.
quit whinging about it. Eh, but yeah, no. So all in all, a good day to go and watch.
It
Was it
was.
busy? Were there many spectators and
Oh
stuff like
yeah,
that?
aye. Crowd was absolutely packed. I mean, it's nice as well to see like you had Graham Hicks floating about,
Yeah,
who else? Matt McKeegan as well. Callum Crozier was floating about. So you've got multiple champions across their
yeah.
respective weight categories, and so it was nice to see them watching. And yeah, it was good.
No, that's
Busy,
cool.
busy
Cool.
crowd. It's a good venue that Lowburn Hall in
Mhm.
Dumfries. It's got a bar and a cafe at the back.
That always helps.
Aye.
Uh, well, when you look at like the Scotland Strongest Man, that when
Hmm.
it's held in the SECC, why is it held there? Because there's a bar there, and like one thing that's synonymous with strongman is beer drinking, so like to be expected. Right,
That's
so
true.
but now we've talked about good stuff. Let's move into probably not so much the bad stuff, but the place where it kind of lacked. So
Yeah.
numbers, you said, were a real kicker in this
Aye, the
situation.
categories were really, really down compared to
Hmm.
previous years. Very,
Yeah.
very down. And
So,
more so in the women's categories.
well, even in the guys, we see a massive cut down because most of the the women's categories, although massively stripped this year, aren't actually that far out in some regards. Like in the under 64s last year, I think there was between two and four.
Hmm.
The under 73s definitely had more people in it. I think there was between six and eight.
Aye, 6 and 8, 5 and
Yeah.
7.
Uh-huh.
Obviously you had Nicola Buck in there. She was bouncing between the 73s and the
Yeah.
82s last year.
And the under 82s had, I don't think they had many more than six.
Yeah, I think you're right about 6.
And then the opens was ran at a different time, which is fair
Yep.
enough.
Yep.
But we are seeing definitely a shrinkage in numbers in that. And then the guys side of things, the under 70s, a new category. The
Hmm.
under 80s, I remember, had roughly around about 10 odd people, 10 to 12.
Yep.
Under 90s last year was the biggest category, I'm
Stacked.
sure, with nearly 20 athletes.
That and the 105s were
And the
stacked last
105s
year's.
were at least
Yeah.
15 people. So
Yeah.
we have seen numbers drop across the board. And maybe the exception of 105s, which kind of aim close to break even, but
Hmm.
not not what we sort of thought we were going to see. So dropouts were one thing,
Hmm.
um, which is fair. We'll talk about that in 2 seconds. But me and you both have a theory after a quick chat about this during our last check-in, was that we think that it's because of the time of year I went in at.
Yep. I agree with that. I mean, natural Scotland's strongest man was only 4 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Um,
Hmm.
Now the events, in some respect, were massively different.
Yeah.
You're going for a farmers moving event at Naturals to yoke in this.
Hmm.
You're going from sand balls loading over a yoke to
Yeah.
Atlas stone runs, and then you're going. The biggest one was a stiff bar raw deadlift to a
Yeah.
suited deadlift bar pull.
Yeah, and I think this is possibly where the kind of dropout in this happened, is the fact that we are seeing two events very close together with very different event demands.
Hmm.
I do not think you can adapt to a suit for heavy suited deadlifts in 4 weeks. It's incredibly tough. Like I'm prepping a client right now who's got two different deadlift events in it, and it's tough to manage the fatigue levels in his programming
Yep.
while with one being in a suit and the other one being a raw deadlift. It's incredibly difficult. Plus, the pulling patterns are different. You do
Yeah.
not pull in a suit the same as you pull raw, and you need that sort of teaching phase
Hmm.
to learn the differences in the pools. So I do think that's a big one. I think it's probably set at a bad time in the year when it comes to the other competitions around it, especially when last year it ran in April. And I think that seems to be our time. I also think like it's cold, wet, and miserable in
Hmm.
February. And a lot of people sometimes don't have the energy to do two competitions while it's cold, wet, and miserable.
Yep.
Whereas when it's summer and it's warmer and sunnier, then we are much more likely to go at it because this is one of the first bright days we've had in February.
Hmm.
One of the first days where the sun's actually been out rather than just being grey in Scotland. And I think that plays a factor in the situation as well. I think that's what people really struggle with. It's hard to find the motivation to train and push for big comps
Yep.
when it's miserable all the time, all you're seeing is gray, which
Yeah.
is why you should be fucking smashing all the vitamin D into you via supplementation because we don't see enough sun. I think in a study I read once, 100% of Scottish people are vitamin D deprived.
That does not surprise me. Does not
So that's a
surprise me.
so
It's a difficult one. I think there's a lot more factors as well. I think that
yeah,
being the main one. I think marketing and pathways are two
yeah,
big factors as
mhm.
well.
Yes, I
Marketing
would agree with
being
this.
you see natural strongman constantly punting comps, constantly posting previous year's athletes' videos, what they've been doing in training,
Yeah,
everything like
mhm.
that. Constantly trying to market what they're doing. They have a main page and they have sub pages as well,
Yeah,
and each of them all share stuff.
yeah, but
Um,
they also have a pathway.
they also have a pathway.
Sorry, I've zoomed in. They have a pathway, which is one thing that, okay, and I know people are going to say, listen to this, well, you just do competitions, you turn up, that's great.
Hmm.
But in Scotland, and I have said this for years, and I will die on this hill, there is too big a gap between when you walk in at novice level and then inevitably your next one's a national level.
Hmm.
And that's how it works a lot of the time because there's no intermediates. And the intermediates that do run die a death because there's not enough interest in them.
Hmm.
This is both for male and female.
Hmm.
So the most common competition I had to cancel when I ran Anvil was the ladies intermediate competitions because we never got enough sign-ups.
Hmm.
We never got enough sign-ups. And I would run that fucker with four people. So that puts in perspective how few people signed up to the ladies intermediates. If I
Yeah.
couldn't get four people to run it, and that's it. And I accepted the fact that the ladies intermediates was always going to be a loss revenue
Hmm.
competition because of the expenses involved in running it.
Yeah.
Like I so for a lot of people that don't realize this, when it comes to running good strongman competitions, the cat it inevitably nearly makes a loss for the gym because with the price of things and stuff, especially if new equipment's required in, a lot of the times there's a cost and a lot of people lose money in it. This is why you see competitions stacked up with like all the categories in one day is to try and minimize the cost loss. But
Hmm.
I don't like that. I personally hate that. I would rather see my business take a loss and run a better day of a smaller comp where the
Yep.
ladies all got their own time in the sun and then do that rather than actually trying to put every single category into a single day and then we all walk away feeling absolutely fucked and each person feels like they just quite didn't get the service that they deserve and stuff like that. But
Hmm.
that's me when I ran those competitions. That's what I thought as an organizer and stuff like that. Marketing, yes, I as someone who is starting to understand from an online coaching perspective the need for how much marketing you have to do that it's just not done enough. Like
Hmm.
there is I most of these will be fucking bored because I guarantee that most of the people watching this are probably already seeing my social media posts, but I do one every single day. I am now about to move up to two posts at least a couple of times a week on days that requires a lot of time and effort. But at the same time, I'm like that going, this is what's needed to be seen
Hmm.
because social media is filled with so much stuff right now. And it's difficult. And another big issue is the reliance on other people to market for you. And this is a big issue, I think, the that Scotland's Strongest Man, the official stuff has, is they put a post up and then they'll just reshare that to the stories. Okay, cool. That doesn't work anymore because Instagram and the algorithm, I do think will look at that and go, cool, it's just recycled content,
Hmm.
and then it'll kill the interest.
Hmm.
So you then asking people to share the same post that you shared on your page 6 months ago, is it going to make a fucking lick of difference in the grand scheme of things? Like
Nah,
I
not at
think
all. Not
you,
anymore.
yeah, I think new content needs to be going out every day, and they need to be sort of going towards why should people compete in this federation,
Hmm.
in this strongman, in the official strongman? Like why? Where'd you go from it? Like I don't know what, to be honest, like if it wasn't for Diane and chatting to her about it, I wouldn't have a fucking clue where you're going from this. Where's the next step up?
Hmm.
Where do you move on from this competition? And if I don't know, if I only found out through a friend who actually competes in it, that's a fucking problem for an athlete who's trying to do
I
his
know.
research into it. So where's the future proofing and what comes next?
But it's not just
Where-
that as well. I mean, like, let's say top three get the invites to Europe's, Brits,
Yeah,
whatever, right? What about the rest of the guys in the field,
yeah.
right? They've just done a national level comp, right? Cool, thank you, bye now.
Mhm.
What do they go and do now? Is it back to doing intermediate car park comps? Is it back to doing open weights
Yeah.
comps? Traveling all across the UK doing that? That's no fair. That's no right doing that.
So you think, and to the extent I agree with you, I'm going to say something here. You're either going to say yes or no, but I think I get the gist of it. Is we need a at official levels, we need a sort of branch out of competitions.
Yes,
Again, I've fucking zoomed in. Right, I've got to
which
stop using
is
my fucking fingers at this point.
again, bringing it back to natural strongman, that's what they do. You don't make the cut off for Brits or Europes. You then
Uh-huh.
go into a competition called the Four Nations, and it
Yeah.
pulls everybody together, and they'll go and compete against each other.
Mhm.
Um, which we don't have in Scotland. We don't
No,
have that. I mean, we do to a certain extent. If you look at the Scottish Strongman and Strongwoman League that goes on, yeah, we do have that. And the
no, but
numbers
that stuff's ran,
that's ran
and
independently away from.
it's
Oh,
not. It's also got nothing to do with official strongman.
no, exactly. I know
It's an independent entity.
it is.
So what we need is official strongman to create its own sort of like uh, strongman championship league
Yep.
style thing,
Yeah.
which I think would be quite cool idea. Like you
Hmm.
run. So how many strongman gyms do we now have in Scotland that could run a reasonably round competition? So you've got Burns,
ESC,
Hostile, ESC, Titan,
Apex,
Apex, Foundry,
a couple up
West
north as well.
Coast. Yeah, I'm struggling to see CJY because I think their facility is too small. But that's
CYG.
just, yeah, CYG, yeah. Just, I think their facility is too small for what I've got in my head. I even think to the extent ESC might be a bit too small
Hmm.
for it. Like it might be too tight because I have seen how short the roofs are in there, and I'm concerned about anyone in the 6'4" bracket pressing in that building without potentially
Nah,
putting.
nah. The bit they've got set up for pressing's fine. It's absolutely
Okay,
fine if you
cool, no
press at the
problem at
other
all.
end. It's absolutely fine.
Cool, no problem at all. That's different then, but I don't know about the size of the facility, but I'm open to accepting
Yeah.
ESC as a probable place. Yeah, you got Apex, and then what gyms up north? I think you've got Adapt up north. Is that it? To an extent, you have
I
the
can't.
strong.
I can't remember the name of it. It's a place
Is it,
where. Um.
it's up in Aberdeen, isn't it?
Aye. I know.
Yeah, Adapt or Results or something like that.
Yeah.
And then you've got the Stoneman Strength Centre as well up that way, and
Hmm.
then you've got Danny Moore's place on the Shetland Islands, technically speaking, because
Yep.
he runs a little strength centre up there and
Aye.
stuff.
Yep. Shetland Strength Club or Strength
Yeah,
Centre. It's called.
so
Yeah.
we've got plenty of potential locations where you could run this league from, and there could be your way of um, enticing people into competitions that sort of stand roughly just below national level and weight, so they get that comp prep that they
Hmm.
need to beat up, but it also gives a little bit of a ranking system as well. There's so they can have something that feeds out at the end of it, like whoever comes first in the SCL after the guys who all place in the categories may get a wild card ticket to the Brits or
Hmm.
something like that. Something to give people a reason to fight for.
Yeah.
Excuse me, and go for it and stuff like that. But I think that would potentially be an idea that works. But marketing is a fucking must.
Hmm.
Like marketing is probably, I think, the biggest letdown. And yeah, being too close to the natties, I think, played a factor in it. But again, I think marketing's probably the biggest one in the situation because maybe the stigma.
Hmm.
Like, I think especially for ladies, the stigma of steroid use, I think, is a um, a tough one.
Hmm.
And a lot of ladies don't want to be associated with steroid use in any way,
Yeah.
shape, or form, which might play a factor in the situation. But right, this is where we're going to go in a bit on the ladies, and I know this because I've spoken to female athletes about this. Um, Ladies are much more likely to drop out than guys, especially if they think that they're going to not perform well.
Hmm.
They don't think they're going to perform well, there's a good chance they're going to drop out. Another big issue I see, and this annoys me a bit, and I know it happens, is that there are group chats full of strong women. I know they exist. I also know that people in these group chats go in and go, "Oh, we're lacking numbers. Just sign up to the competition,"
Hmm.
and that's a fucking problem. Like, you do know, like, I think as a lass, I don't think that the lasses are potentially being asked just to sign up to fill numbers. That's a disrespect to them.
Hmm.
Oh, if there's not enough people, the competition doesn't run. Okay, well, why isn't there enough people? Why aren't we getting the numbers? You can't just simply then turn around and go, or just sign up, even if you're not going to do it or you're not going to be able to compete at it, just sign up to fill the numbers so it can
Yeah.
go ahead. Like shit like that is, I think, one of the biggest issues is a bunch of people trying to be forced to do a competition that they don't want to do.
Hmm.
And I'm like, don't do that. Empower them, give them a reason to try and go and do it. Explain where they're potentially going to go.
Hmm.
Don't just simply say, oh, let's just run the competition for the sake of running the competition and stuff like that. Just
Yeah.
fill the gaps, fill the numbers, because no one wants just to be a numbers person. Everyone wants to go to at least think that they've got a chance to win
Hmm.
or give it their all. And I think that plays a big factor in the situation.
No, I think you're right. I think you're right. I mean, Stuart does a great job at running it. He knows how to run a comp, and this is the
Yeah,
thing.
he is the
He is the
granddad.
godfather. He's
Yeah,
the godfather of Scottish strength. He
granddad of
knows,
strength. Yeah,
yeah, he knows how to run a competition, and his event choices are always good. The
yeah,
weights are good as well. It pushes people, it tests people, but there needs to be something that draws people in.
yeah. And I think that needs to be done by marketing
Hmm.
and appraise or past and present winners would probably help with that situation as well. A podcast,
Hmm.
like one of these where they talk to the winners and stuff like that, past and present,
Yeah.
something to drum up interest. Like I think a lot of these things potentially could work in promoting it, but I think it's just struggles to be promoted because 4 years ago you only had officials,
Hmm.
so it didn't need to market itself.
That was the pathway.
Yeah, it was the only pathway. Now we have naturals, and
Yeah.
naturals has come in with a point that it needs to do, which is it needs to make its presence felt, and
Yeah.
it's done that through marketing and good use of social media. And I think
Yeah.
that's where officials are struggling right now is making better use of social media.
Hmm.
Because I think if they made better use of social media, people would know. Because I guarantee you, there's a lot of ladies in natural strongest women that probably doesn't know that probably don't know that the official competition even exists.
I, mm, I wouldn't say a lot. I think your top five, six probably are aware.
Uh-huh.
Um, because the people they're coached by, they're going to know. They're obviously going to mention it to them. Um,
Exactly, but what about the rest? What about the
mhm,
grassroots lady that's came in and done her first in UK and well, I know I'm going to refer to UK NS because that's what I remember it as. So the first natural strongman competition, then they go, they might never hear about it, and it's all great. The assumption you're making there is that they're working with a coach that's already in the strongman scene,
mhm,
and I think that's a bit of a. It's not a bad sort of assumption to have,
yep,
but it's an assumption that I think can sometimes be proved incorrect because some people only care about what's directly in front of them and they tend not to look in other places.
mhm,
Like, whereas I think we need to be in a point where there might be some women in natural strong women who probably haven't heard of the official strong women stuff. They'll have heard of
mhm,
official strongman because it's all over the place, but the official strong woman stuff in comparison is their marketing is to an extent non-existent.
mhm,
And I think that's a problem. Like it's Scotland's strongest man, and then fuck's sake, and then in brackets underneath and women.
mhm.
Whereas there should be dedicated social media just solely for the ladies to use that they can share, repost, and figure that so they don't sometimes feel like they might be an
Yeah.
add-on to a male-only competition.
Well, one thing I noticed is that the Scotland Strongest Man page, uh, official slash unofficial page for it,
Yeah,
asked for feedback from this weekend. So
good.
I'm hoping that what's maybe been said will make a difference for next year to drive
Mhm.
numbers up.
Yeah. And that's what it needs to do because unfortunately we don't want to see it die death, but right
Hmm.
now it is. And if it doesn't change, there's going to be struggles there. But
I know. But again,
I
we've
do,
said this and it stressed the point, it's not the comps are ran well. The comps
yeah,
are ran brilliant.
mhm,
And we see it with the qualifier. You get 40, 50 guys at the qualifier because
yeah,
Stuart knows what he's doing.
exactly. Yeah.
It just needs to be the draw in for people.
Yeah, at the weight category level.
Yep.
And that just takes time. And I think if they want next year to be better, they need to start right now.
Hmm.
Because at the end of the day, we only know these competitions exist via social media.
Yep.
And when was the last time you were on social media?
When I sent you the results for the
Yeah.
weekend there,
hmm
an hour
And
ago,
then
if that,
before that,
oh, probably last night.
yeah. But the issue is if you're not, and then potentially you might not be on it for a day or two beforehand. Like, and you are one of my clients, and you don't see my posts. You
Hmm.
didn't see my post about you, and you're on social media last night,
No,
and I
that's true.
posted that at like 3, 4 o'clock in the afternoon.
Yeah.
So if you're not seeing a post about you done
Hmm.
by me on social media, how can we expect other people to be seeing posts about these competitions?
No,
And
that's
they
a
don't have a
very fair
direct
comment.
interest in
Very
it.
fair comment.
And this is the point I'm trying to get. Like, this is why. So, for people who don't understand, I work with people who help me with the social media side of stuff. And this is the thing that's hammered into me via these boys and these lads is that most people don't see your posts. So, that's why you have to post frequently. And I think that's the one thing that the page, whatever page it is, runs it needs to do better. And it also needs to tailor its content better, tailor to the under 64s, tailor to the under 73s, tailor to the under
Hmm.
82s, tailor to the under 70s, tailor to the under 80s, tailor to under 90s, tailor to under 105s. Like, should put out content that will entice them in rather than
Hmm.
just putting big sweeping social media, which is trying to encompass them all because trying to include everyone, it inevitably no one gives a fuck.
Hmm.
and that's where the problem lies in the situation, I think.
Yep.
Uh, so yeah, that's really it. I don't think there's really much else to add on this section. And you'll all be grateful to know that this is the only section we're doing today because we knew it was going to be a big one that we were going to be talking about.
Yep.
So with that, we're going to call the podcast an end today. See us back next week, and we'll bring back our standard strongman section and coaching section. Till then, give us a like, a comment, and subscribe. And what would be quite interesting, and I'd like to hear from you people if you're listening at this point. Fuck the rest of them because they've already left. Who the fuck cares about them? They probably think that bench press is a good fucking exercise. Uh,
It is. It is. We'll
shut.
not get into that. We'll not get into that.
um, how would you try and improve popularity amongst the competition and stuff like that? What would you suggest if you like suggest that people try and make it a little bit more interesting? It'd be interesting to hear your thoughts on it in the comments and yeah, just give us I'd love to have a chat with you and stuff like that. So if you want in the comments below, or as always, our social media stuff will be at the bottom of the page, like not underneath us. So you can always drop us a message directly
Yep.
and we'll get back to you and stuff like that. And we both quite like to chat in our inboxes, so feel free. And then till then, enjoy the rest of your days and I'll catch you later. Goodbye.
Goodbye.